All right, y'all. So I'm back for episode 7. Ray J, he's in the studio. He admits that the last hit that he had was Sexy Can I, and that was years ago. I'm like, well, shit. I mean, at least you can admit it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying, at least he can admit the shit. But anyway, so, he meets up with Bridget Kelly. You guys know Bridget Kelly used to be signed to Rock Nation. And she's saying how she's tired of getting categorized into like sad music and she wants to tap into her sexiness. So he tells her to sing something just to see where her head is at or whatever. And he's like, she's singing the same type of stuff that she claims that she's trying to get away from or whatever, but he's gonna work his Ray J magic on her. So, he tells her that, she got to get on top of a piano singing and shit with a fur coat on and a bikini underneath. And she's looking at him like he's fucking nuts. And I'm looking at him like he's nuts too. And next thing you know, he starts to play this song for her. It was saying something about pussy being so good or something like that. And I'm just like, really, Ray J? This is what you come up with? Like, oh, y'all, the shit was just so horrible. Like, and then the auto tune didn't make it no better. Oh, no, Ray J. No. And Bridget Kelly, that's not the song for you to get on, girl. I'm sorry. But anyways, moving on. This next part with Moniece and Masika, I felt like was pointless. Like, I felt like the scene went on for too long or whatever. But anyways, they're at like this podcast or whatever, and they're doing their little clapbacks and everything. They're talking about Hazel E, or as Masika calls her, Nasal He, and everything, and talks about the Instagram followers, how she got the same Instagram followers that she followed that followed her back in 2014 or whatever. And then they get on Nikki Baby and saying how she's a human-sized condom and how she's dealing with the basketball player and all this other shit. Then they get on Alexis Sky and how Moniece didn't have a problem with her until, she came for her trying to search for Masika and everything. And so, Moniece is telling everybody, be careful who they side with when it comes to them and Alexis. And then Moniece starts talking about AD's, best friend Tiffany or whatever. And this, that, and the third. It's just, like I said, that whole thing was pointless to me. But anyways, then we get, speaking of Alexis, we get Alexis and Lucci. They meet up on the beach and everything. He trying to hug her and shit. She's not feeling him. She's like, you think you could just, come up and try to hug me and shit after all that shit you was talking or whatever. And he's like, well, I mean, you did come into my interview running amok or whatever. And she's like, yeah, because your baby mama came at me or whatever for no reason and everything. And, he says once again that, that him and old girl Sarah was over with way before, Lexus came into the picture. She didn't, she didn't ruin shit or whatever. So, he claims that, he tried to get control of the situation with his baby mamas, but, with his baby mama, but she gonna do what she want to do regardless. And he was like, later on that night after you came into my interview, I met up with her and everything and told her what it was or whatever. Like, it don't matter who I'm with or whatever, me and her, we done. You know what I'm saying? And he apologizes to Alexis for, the things that he said and that, they're better than that or whatever. So she forgives him or whatever, but the whole relationship thing is done, but she still wants to be his friend because they did start off as friends. So then, we get Tiara. She meets up with Amber at the pool or whatever. Tiara is asking Amber, like, did y'all have sex or whatever? Did her and Cisco have sex? And, she's like, I mean, yeah, that's my nigga. Like, what would it be us not having sex and everything? And, she's like that, he's been telling me that, you and him are together and that you're delusional and all this other stuff. And Tiara is like, well, that's a lie. And you should have saw that when you with your own, and you should have saw that with your own eyes when he came into the store with me or whatever, and TT was like, TT, she's like, it seemed like, he was telling you to shut up and he was, coming out to me or whatever. And Amber is like, no, he wasn't telling me to shut up, but he did come out to you because he's stupid. And, he came to talk to me after you left and everything. And, how they've been together since, the situation happened and how she's been staying at his hotel with him and all this other stuff. And Tiara finds it mighty funny because Cisco has been hitting her up every day since that situation. So, Amber is like, I want to invite you to, the room or whatever so you can see what's been going on for yourself and everything. And, Amber is like, whenever you got the free time to come see if this man really love you or not, you let me know and everything. And, Tiara, she's like, no, Amber, she's like, I'm not going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? And Tiara, she's like, I'm going to compete with this hoe until she's out the door, and then Cisco going to be out the door too. I said, oh, you trying to take a page out of Brooke Valentine's page. I see what you're trying to do there, okay? But anyway, so TT thinks that, she feels like that no man is worth all that stress or whatever, this, that, and the third. Amber gonna have the nerve to sit up here and say that she thinks Cisco is amazing and he's wonderful. Bitch. I had to do the old lady. Bitch, really? Like, yeah, we could tell you dick drunk or whatever, you dickmatized, because if you think a motherfucker like Cisco is amazing and he's wonderful and he's a good man, like, girl, you just caught him in the store with the whole nother bitch. Like, what are you saying right now? And so, Tiara's like, do you think that it's worth, him making you look stupid or whatever? And Amber is like, he didn't and he won't, but he did. Whatever. So anyways, Tiara, she's like, I mean, girl, he played both of us. What are you saying right now? You know what I'm saying? So she doesn't get it. I don't get it either. Whatever. So we get Ray J and A1. They're in the studio. He's playing the track for A1, the Pussy So Good or whatever that shit was, and we hear Bridget Kelly on the song and everything. So, A1 is like, yo, that song is fire. I said, A1, why are you lying to this man? Okay? So, he's like, who's that singing on it or whatever? And Ray J is like, pretty girl. A1 is like, I don't know who the fuck that is. And, he's like, Ray J is like Bridget Kelly. A1 is shocked or whatever, and he's like, she used to be signed to Rock Nation. Now she over here fooling around with your ass. I was like, oh, A1 trying to be shady, eh? Shady against your own friend. But I mean, you telling the truth though, But anyway, so Ray J talks about doing like this photo shoot with her at like this hotel room suite or whatever, and A1 is like, well, what does Princess have to say about this? And Ray J was about to come up with some bullshit ass lie. A1 was like, oh man, you ain't even tell her or whatever. And Ray's been avoiding Princess because of the whole sperm ordeal or whatever. And Ray is like, I mean, look, I googled it or whatever, and I saw that if you just let your sperm count build up, that everything will be good. A1 is like, you Google that shit? And, Ray is like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? And A1 is like, man, you got to tell her what's going on. And Ray, he's just like that he can't or whatever. And he's like, but, I kind of slipped up or whatever the other day. And he's like, A1 is like, what you mean you slipped up? He was like, Ray J is like, I pulled out a picture of Princess and I let it bust on, the couch that you sitting on. And A1 like, yo, what the fuck, man? Like, really? Like, you knew this shit and you gonna let me sit on this motherfucking couch or whatever. So next thing you know, Princess, she walks in kind of annoyed or whatever. She got on like this broad type thing going on with some, I think she had on the fur. and like some pants or whatever, and she's saying how she's ovulating and how he hasn't been home or whatever. She's asking A1 for some alone time, and Ray J is like, no, and don't leave A1 or whatever, and Princess is like, oh, okay, you want him to stay? Well, let me take my jacket off then, because Ray J kind of had an issue with what she had on or whatever. So she's like, they have all they have is today and tomorrow to try to get something done or whatever in regards to them having a baby before because she won't be ovulating again until next month or whatever. And so Ray J, he's like, wait a minute, you about to ruin the surprise that I was trying to give you. This Negro gonna sit up here and lie and say that he got a room for them or whatever, a suite for them or whatever. And A1 looking, he in the background like, this nigga here running his motherfucking ass off. You know what I'm saying? And A1 is like, do y'all want y'all time, whatever, alone? And, Ray is like, no, we can do that tomorrow or whatever, and A1 is like, look, over these last few weeks, I've learned about honesty with Lyrica. I learned my lesson. Or you could be like Ray J and do a 2-for-1 special by having a photo shoot and then trying to, put a baby up a princess. So moving on, we get AD, Tiffany, and Moniece. So they all meet up or whatever, and AD is giving this speech about how they've been saying stuff to her about each other, but they need to say it to each other or whatever. Tiffany, she starts first or whatever and says how she doesn't feel like Moniece is a lesbian, and that AD is convenient for her, and her to take care of her kid. And, she just wants her money and feels as though Moniece is an opportunist and she's scandalous. And I'm like, whoa. Now, I know AD, somebody said before what AD does, but I don't remember. Is she a model or a DJ? Yeah, if y'all know, y'all let me know, because I know she does something. I just can't remember what she does. But yeah, the whole opportunist thing, it's like Moniece is on a hit TV show on VH1, been on it for 4 seasons, and she's in the opening credits. So I'm not making the correlation here. Like, I don't understand, when she said that shit. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, Moniece is like, I take care of my son. You're discrediting me as a mom. And, Tiffany is like, well, that's what me and AD discussed and everything. And Moniece is like, well, the bitch lied to you. And, Moniece is like, I don't need you, her, or anybody, and fuck what you heard, okay? Like, I take care of me and mines and everything. And AD brings up Moniece calling Tiffany a hoe and a thought on the podcast or whatever, this, that, and the third. And Moniece stands by everything that she said, and she's like, I've been disrespected, so now I'm supposed to apologize. You know what I'm saying? And AD is like, you're not sorry for what you said about her, Moniece, and everything. And Tiffany is like, I haven't had as many dicks as you. Like, yeah, I'm a stripper or whatever, but you must have forgot. I'm around a lot of celebrity men or whatever, so I know a lot of shit about you, okay? And she was like, you got a lot of nerve to be calling me a walking condom and all this other stuff. So Moniece is done. She walks away or whatever. She's over it. So that conversation pretty much didn't go nowhere. And Tiffany feels like she could have said a lot worse about Moniece and everything. But it's like, okay, but you did say shit about her too. You did shade her, the last episode or whatever. So y'all both wrong. Y'all both need to apologize or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I still do feel like you are just way too invested in this. You know what I'm saying? Like it do seem like you got some feelings for AD there, more than just best friends. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, Ray J and Princess, they show up to the room or whatever. She sees clothes or whatever hanging up and everything, and he gonna sit here and talk about something. Yeah, I just want to do some role play. You know what I'm saying? And she notices the bed, and it looks like it's already been sat on. Next thing you know, the cameraman comes out, and he's like, "Well, I want to spend all my time with you, but first I gotta do this photo shoot because I already had this in place or whatever." Princess is like, what the fuck? She sees Bridget Kelly, and Princess, says hey to her and everything. She doesn't get crazy with her, and Princess, she leaves, and she feels like she's taking a back seat to all of Ray J's business ventures or whatever. And her and Ray J, they're outside in the hallway, and she's over it or whatever, and she leaves. Bridget is like, you're setting me up for failure, and now you got and now she's gonna be looking at me like I'm crazy or whatever because I'm in her husband's hotel room. You know what I'm saying? Looking like I'm in some type of band or some type of stripper or something like that. She was saying or whatever, and he apologizes and everything, and they still proceed with the photo shoot. So then we have Marcus or whatever. He's doing this showcase for his song or whatever. Brooke is there, she's still not budging, but she decided to still come support him. I mean, Brooke, it's clear that you're probably going to get back with him if you're showing up to his shit. So why are you keep on playing this game here? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so, the song I didn't care for too much. It was like, whatever, you got the nerve to be talking about Booby and Brooke shit. I mean, at least their shit sounded, alright. You know what I'm saying? Your shit just sound like some bullshit. Lyrica, Alexis, Moniece, and Nia, they're also there or whatever, and Moniece is saying how she doesn't mind showing, love from one new artist to another. And, now Lyrica and Alexis being there have caught her attention. So, yeah. So anyways, after the performance is over, Alexis tells Lyrica that she has to leave because she has a gig to host and everything. And, Alexis, she sees the side eye or whatever between Nia and Moniece, and she knew that had she stayed there, something would have popped off. So, Lyrica walks over to Brooke and everything, and Brooke says, how Marcus is talented or whatever, but he's still on probation, and she wants to remind him of what he could have been devouring after, his performance, and I'm just like, whatever. So Lyrica, she only came because A1 made her or whatever. She wants Brooke to come to her listening party, and Brooke is like, is the album done or whatever? And Lyrica is like, well, it's a pre-listening party or whatever. And Brooke is like, I mean, no shade, but you've been working on this album for a minute now. And Lyrica is like, I mean, she's saying this in the confessional. She's like, when's the last time you put out some music? You know what I'm saying? I would have said that shit to Brooke's face. Fuck saying that shit in the confessional because it's true. Brooke, when the last time you put out some shit? You only had one song. Like, girl, bye. Anyways, so, Lyrica, she walks over to, Moniece and Nia or whatever, and she speaks to Moniece, and Moniece is drinking her drink or whatever, being shady, and then she says hi or whatever. She invites them to the party as well, and she gives a rundown on the guest list. As soon as, they hear Alexa's name, Moniece is like, oh, well, I would not be there because she's going to be there. And Lyrica's like, well, what's wrong with her or whatever? And Moniece is like, well, she called me a hoe and a bitch for no reason, and she don't know me or whatever. And they showed the flashback, of when Alexis did call, Moniece a hoe and a bitch for no reason. You know what I'm saying? So, Lyrica is like, well, you are known to be shady. And Moniece is like, yeah, I am or whatever. But, you're stupid as fuck if you can't, see that, Alexis made enemies and everything because of this whole shit with Masika, and Lyrica is like, well, if you don't want to come because of her, then don't come or whatever. And Moniece is like, granted, my loyalty does lie with Masika. I don't care about y'all friendship, but I'm trying to do better, and I don't need to associate with nobody that associates with her and everything. And Lyrica doesn't understand how Moniece can always be shady or whatever, but then when somebody like Alexis pops up, she wants to get mad or whatever. And Lyrica is telling her, well, she's telling Nia, well, when you're not with your sidekick or whatever, hit me up and everything. Moniece is like, bitch, I ain't nobody's sidekick. Let's make that clear. And Lyrica is like, yeah, I am that bitch or whatever. I work with this person, I work with that person. She name dropping and shit. And Moniece is like, I don't need to learn anything from you or whatever, from your talent. And Lyrica is like, well, you should be in the studio instead of arguing with me about Alexis and everything. So Lyrica, she walks away or whatever, and Moniece says, are we done, because I'm ready to beat her ass or whatever. And Lyrica, she hears her, she's like, oh, so you gonna beat my ass, and everything. And it was fucking stupid. It's like, I understand what Moniece is saying about not wanting to associate with, people that she feel like is going to be a pop-off situation with or whatever, and she's trying to do better. But it's like, you can't be trying to do that much fucking better if you sitting up here talking about, beating Lyrica's ass and shit like that, which I don't feel like she did nothing that serious that warranted all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't understand. I didn't understand that at all. But anyway, so Ray J and Princess, real quick. He apologizes about what happened the other day or whatever. He tells her that he has a low sperm count. She's like, wait a minute, like, how did you find out? And he's like, I went to the doctor or whatever. And she's shocked, and he tells her that, yeah, I went with the fellas and everything, and that's how I found out, and I'm sorry for not telling you. So she wasn't even mad about the shit. She was cool about it or whatever, understanding about it. I'm like, see, Ray J, you should have been told her about that shit. So then we have Lyrica, Hazel, and Alexis. They meet up. Lyrica tells about the listening party and how Moniece popped off and everything after Alexis left or whatever. Hazel is like, Moniece's loyalty lies so much with Masika that she's mad with Lyrica and all this other shit. And she's like, all Masika had to do was meet up with Alexis or whatever, but instead she want to add Moniece, Nia, and Lyrica into the mix to start more shit or whatever. And she tells about how Moniece called her a bitch and everything. And, Hazel is like, that this is the land of the fake, fraud, and the phony. I'm like, you got your motherfucking nerve to be talking, but okay. So, Alexis Sky is talking about how she can destroy Masika and send her, Moniece, and send her followers after her or whatever, this, that, and the third, like, you don't come for me or whatever. And I'm like, well, technically you came for Moniece first because you couldn't get to Masika. Or do I not remember correctly? Like, they did show the flashback, so yeah. Anyway, so we get Masika, Nia, Moniece. I keep on mixing them bitches up. God damn it. Names start with the same first letter. So, Masika is, shopping for a new house or whatever. Moniece is late and everything, but she shows the girls, a video that Alexis, had made popping off on them or whatever. Masika is like, you're mad at me because of Fetty or whatever, because I had a kid with him and everything. And, Masika is like, Alexis realizes I'm not giving her no play. So, she's like, let me drag, Masika's friends into it, whatever. And, Alexis was disrespecting Moniece when Moniece went live or whatever, calling her an unfit mother or whatever. Like, it's 4 seasons later and motherfuckers is still with this unfit mother shit with Moniece or whatever. Like, the shit is getting real annoying. Like, it's just getting real annoying. They need to do something else. So, anyways, Nia tells Masika, bitch, you need to take care of this because, she keep on coming at us because of your ass. You know what I'm saying? So then we get Cisco, Tierra, and Amber. He's, in the hotel room with Amber and she's kissing all up on him with her lipstick and everything. TT shows up or whatever, Amber answers the door. They tell Cisco to bring his bald-headed ass out there, and TT's like, oh, you got lipstick on your forehead or whatever. And Amber's like, it's obvious you've been telling us different shit or whatever. And, Cisco's like, you called Tierra or whatever? So Tierra says that she's out and everything. Amber tells her not to leave or whatever. And, TT is like, no. Amber is saying how she's still saying how she's not going anywhere or whatever. And, Tierra, she's ready to leave. And then he starts calling her name and shit. And she's like, oh, what you calling my name for or whatever? And, he claims that he was going to let things, break things off with Amber or whatever. And, Amber is like, oh, for real? Like, I love you and you sit up here in this shit with me or whatever. And, like, this is what you want? You want to be with Tierra? And he's like, yeah, I got to give her that respect or whatever. And, Amber, she gets dressed or whatever. She's about to leave. And then he tells her to hold on and everything. And they're like, I mean, you calling the both of us or whatever. Like, and Amber says that she has bad taste in men. And Tierra says, yeah, I do too or whatever. Then he starts calling Tierra again. Amber is like, I mean, you calling the both of us. Like, what the fuck is going on here? So then Cisco, he starts popping all the time or something. Well, you've been stressing me or whatever. And I've been having fun with you. Like, what the fuck you want me to do? And all this other... Y'all know how Cisco do. I'm sick of his motherfucking ass. His ass need to go back to New York. But then again, shit, New York is the next one to come up. And I don't even know if I want to see his ass up there after seeing him up here. Okay? Getting on my goddamn shit. So anyways, TT leaves. She says she's over it. Whatever. That was, the episode. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you guys come back. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.